Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pathways of Hope. My name is Tree, and I'll be guiding us through today's reflection on the parable of the 10 minas. A man of noble birth went to a distant country to have himself appointed king and then to return. So he called 10 of his servants and gave them 10 minas. Put this money to work, he said, until I come back. So today's parable presents to us two pictures of what a steward in the Christian life can look like. So the first is a joyful and faithful steward, and the second is an unfaithful and distrusting steward. So we find those two versions or pictures of stewardship in the servants that are mentioned in the parable of today's gospel. The first two servants, when the nobleman or their master came back, they were able to present to him more minas or more money from the money that he had entrusted to them. But the third servant said this, "Sir, here is your mina. I have laid it away in a piece of cloth. I was afraid of you because you are a hard man. You take out what you did not put in and reap what you did not sow." So with those two pictures side by side, we might fall into that habit of thinking, "Oh, I'm this servant or I'm that servant." But I dare say that we can easily fall into either of them on different days. And I find that to be true because when we look at the response of the third servant who was distrusting and unfruitful, he says this, "I was afraid of you because you are a hard man. You take out what you did not put in and reap what you did not sow." So in other words, his unfruitfulness or his failure to be a good steward was coming from a place of misunderstanding his master or seeing him under a bad light. And even if we are at this point of our lives close to the Lord, or we might say that we're faithful to Him, we serve Him happily, joyfully, we really do have those days where we're a bit further away from God, or where we've been distant to Him, or we forget who He is, that we make mistakes, we sin, we fall short in stewarding the things that He calls us to steward. And so that's the key, I believe, to our Christian faith, that if we want to be joyful and faithful stewards, it's a day-by-day thing. We have to remain close to the Master and keep reminding ourselves of His goodness, that He is not a hard man, He's not a harsh man, and that even when we are unfruitful or unfaithful, He still loves us. So when we have that right view of God, we can bear much more fruit. Because if we're simply terrified or afraid of Him, everything will be forced, or we might be distrusting in the things that He asks us to do. So some good questions that we can ask ourselves is, one, am I bearing fruit right now? Am I stewarding well the things that the Lord is giving to me? My resources, my responsibilities, financially, materially, but also spiritually and in my relationships. So in every area of my life, am I bearing fruit? And the second is, in my fruitfulness, is that coming from my relationship with the Lord? Like, am I remaining close to Him? Am I making that the source of my good stewardship or of all of my work? So with those two questions, I pray that it brings us to a realization of where we really are in our Christian life right now. And let's continue to rely on the grace of the Lord, of the Holy Spirit, to be able to bear fruit, because we know that without Him, without His grace, we really cannot bear any fruit. We cannot do anything. God bless you, brothers and sisters. May this gospel bless you as it has blessed me.